Hello guys. Welcome back to GH Spoilers channel. Today, we will learn about the issue that has shaken ABC General Hospital to its core. An unexpected revelation that has stunned viewers and characters alike. Britt Westbourne's shocking return. In recent episodes, the name Britt has come up frequently, mainly due to Brooke's repeated mentions. Fans speculated about the possible return of Britt Westbourne, but no one expected the events to unfold quite like this. Longtime viewers remember Britt's tragic and presumed fatal encounter with the infamous serial killer, The Hook, several years ago. Her death was considered final, and those who loved her mourned deeply, unaware that the truth was far darker and more twisted than anyone imagined. It turns out that Britt, against all odds, survived her attack, but the circumstances around her survival have emerged as even more chilling than her presumed demise. Britt was discovered barely alive by Drew, who, instead of bringing her back to safety and medical attention, secretly imprisoned her in a secluded location. Drew's actions remained a haunting mystery, shrouded in dark intentions and unclear motivations. Was Drew driven by vengeance against Jason Morgan, Britt's love, or was there a deeper, more sinister reasoning behind his actions? For years, Drew maintained the facade of a heroic figure, a respected member of the Port Charles community, building relationships and trust among his friends and family. Britt's captivity went unnoticed, and her disappearance was gradually accepted as a tragic loss among those who cherished her. Little did anyone suspect Drew's dark double life, meticulously concealing his crime behind a mask of normalcy. But truth, especially in Port Charles, always finds its way to the surface, and Britt, known for her resilience and cunning, eventually found her opportunity to escape. The dramatic twist unfolded during one of the most anticipated events of the youth wedding ceremony of Drew and Willow Tate. This wedding had already garnered considerable attention and excitement, as the couple seemed poised to begin a hopeful new chapter in their lives. As guests filled the beautifully decorated venue, smiles and congratulations were exchanged freely, unaware of the shocking surprise waiting just beyond the threshold. Just as Drew prepared to exchange his vows with Willow, Britt dramatically entered the scene, flanked by law enforcement officers. Her unexpected and bold reappearance stunned the entire congregation into a tense silence. With fierce clarity, Britt immediately revealed Drew's horrifying crime, his long-term imprisonment and abuse of her. Britt detailed her harrowing ordeal, recounting how she narrowly survived the Hook's attack, only to face an even more terrifying fate at Drew's hands. Gasps of disbelief filled the room, and Willow, Drew's bride-to-be, stood utterly devastated, her dreams shattered in seconds. Panic erupted as Drew, visibly shaken and cornered by the exposure of his heinous actions, tried desperately to flee. However, justice was swift, and officers promptly apprehended Drew, restraining him in front of the shocked wedding guests. Drew's image as a beloved figure instantly disintegrated, replaced by one of betrayal and malevolence. Amid the chaos, Britt stood firm and unwavering, finally reclaiming her voice and her freedom. For viewers, the emotional intensity of Britt's return was heightened even further by a powerful reunion. Jason Morgan, Britt's former lover, appeared overwhelmed upon witnessing the truth that she was alive. Britt and Jason's reunion was bittersweet and deeply emotional, filled with pain, relief, and the undeniable love that still connected them despite all their suffering. Their embrace resonated deeply with fans who have long championed their troubled yet profoundly genuine connection. Both Jason and Britt expressed their immense gratitude for having another chance together. Aware of the painful scars left by Britt's traumatic captivity but committed to moving forward as a united front. Adding another layer to the emotional roller coaster, Brooklyn Quartermain, who had notably kept Britt's memory alive through mentions and hints leading up to this dramatic reveal, is now positioned to influence another critical revelation. It has been strongly hinted that Brooke intends for Britt to connect deeply with young Rocco Falconeri. Brooke wishes Britt to finally share the truth that she, Britt Westbourne, was actually the surrogate who brought Rocco into the world. Rocco's understanding of his family dynamic will inevitably shift dramatically, and Britt's complicated yet meaningful presence in his life will create a poignant new chapter in Port Charles' emotional landscape. As these tangled threads unravel, Port Charles braces for numerous emotional confrontations, particularly the potential upheaval within the Falconeri family. As Dante Falconeri grapples with explaining to Rocco the complex truth about his parentage, Dante, a dedicated father, must delicately navigate the turbulent waters of his son's emotional well-being while reconciling Britt's unexpected re-entry into their lives. Moreover, Willow's devastation by Drew's actions will lead her into uncharted emotional territory. Initially poised for happiness, she must now contend with a public scandal, betrayal, and an uncertain future. Willow's resilience will undoubtedly be tested, pushing her into unlikely alliances and new, unexpected relationships. Another significant aftermath centers on Drew's exposure as a villain. Previously admired, his betrayal has profoundly shaken Port Charles' trust in the very people considered friends and family. Carly Spencer, Drew's ally and confidant, is left stunned and grappling with guilt over failing to see his true nature, potentially redefining her own position in the community. Carly, fiercely protective of those she loves, will undoubtedly channel her shock into a quest for answers and perhaps even redemption. While the community reels from these shocking revelations, law enforcement will delve deeper into Drew's past actions. Drew's incarceration opens a Pandora's box of suspicion, leading investigators to question whether Britt was Drew's only victim. Port Charles braces itself for further dark discoveries that might emerge from Drew's hidden history, signaling potential shifts in alliances and new threats surfacing in the shadows. Britt's return, therefore, signifies more than personal redemption. It is a catalyst reshaping relationships, trust, and emotional landscapes across Port Charles. Her presence also revives unfinished business, unresolved tensions, and new opportunities for redemption and healing. Britt herself will confront significant emotional recovery, rebuilding her life in a town where she once felt misunderstood, disliked, yet strangely integral. Finally, fans are eagerly awaiting the complex and emotional conversations to come, including Britt's long-overdue confrontation with her mother, Lisa Obrecht, who grieved deeply for her daughter and whose life dramatically changed following Britt's supposed death. The mother-daughter reunion promises another powerful emotional sequence, brimming with remorse, forgiveness, and complicated familial bonds. Ultimately, Britt Westbourne's triumphant and shocking return has already proven to be one of General Hospital's most compelling and intricate storylines. Audiences remain captivated, eager to witness how the tangled emotional threads weave themselves into new realities for all involved. Port Charles, as always, promises no shortage of heart-stopping drama, deeply resonant emotional arcs, and the endless potential for redemption and renewal. Next, we will dive deep into the heart-wrenching drama surrounding Willow Tate, who has just faced the most devastating news imaginable in a courtroom showdown that left her shattered. In a gripping turn of events, Willow lost sole custody of her beloved children, Wiley and Amelia Corinthos, to their father, Michael Corinthos. This seismic shift in her life has sent shockwaves through her world, leading to a spiral of emotional turmoil and a hospital stay that has left fans on the edge of their seats. Join us as we unpack this emotional roller coaster, explore Willow's fragile mental state, and speculate on the unpredictable twists that await her in Port Charles. Buckle up for an in-depth look at one of the most compelling storylines on General Hospital, complete with fresh perspectives, imaginative details, and tantalizing possibilities for what lies ahead. A shocking courtroom defeat. The courtroom was a battlefield, and Willow Tate emerged as the heartbroken loser in a custody war that stripped her of the two most precious parts of her life: her children, Wiley and Amelia. The gavel fell with a resounding finality as Michael Corinthos was awarded full custody, a decision that hit Willow like a freight train. Her world crumbled in an instant, the pain evident in every tear that streamed down her face as she realized she would no longer tuck her little ones into bed each night or hear their morning giggles echoing through the house. The loss was not just legal, it was visceral, cutting deep into her soul and leaving a void that no amount of legal appeals could fill. Witnesses in the courtroom described her reaction as nothing short of harrowing, clutched at her chest as if trying to hold her breaking heart together. Her cries echoing off the walls as the reality of her new, empty life set in. Adding to the tragedy, Willow's immediate aftermath painted a picture of a woman immured. Friends and family watched in helpless horror as she stumbled out of the courtroom, her legs barely holding her up, and collapsed into a state of utter despair on the steps outside. Her best friend, who wished to remain anonymous, later shared that Willow kept murmuring, they're gone," as if chanting the words could somehow reverse the judge's ruling. This raw moment of vulnerability was only the beginning of a downward spiral that would soon land her in the hospital. grappling not just with grief but with a profound disconnection from reality itself. A mental collapse and hospitalization. In the wake of this life-altering loss, Willow's emotional reserves were depleted, leading to a breakdown that required urgent medical attention. She was admitted to General Hospital under the care of a psychiatric team after displaying signs of severe distress, including bouts of uncontrollable sobbing and moments where she seemed to stare blankly into space, as if searching for her children in an empty void. Caitlin McMullen, the talented actress behind Willow's character, recently opened up to Soap Opera Digest about the harrowing depth of her character's pain. She described the courtroom incident as a catastrophic snap, a moment where Willow's mind simply couldn't bear the weight of her new reality. McMullen's insight painted a vivid picture of a woman teetering on the edge, her psyche fractured by the unbearable emptiness left in the absence of Wiley and Amelia. During her hospital stay, nurses noted that Willow often sat by the window, clutching a small toy that belonged to Wiley, whispering to herself as if reassuring her son that she'd be back for him soon. This heartbreaking detail underscored the depth of her delusion, as she seemed to exist in a limbo between reality and a fantasy where her children were still within reach. Even after her discharge, the fog of grief and disorientation clung to her like a shadow. Back in the home she shares with Drew Kane, Willow wandered through the rooms aimlessly, pausing at the nursery door as if expecting to hear Amelia's coos. It's clear that while her body has left the hospital, her mind remains trapped in a prison of loss, struggling to process a life without the two anchors that once kept her grounded. The fragile road to recovery. Despite being back in familiar surroundings, Willow's journey to healing is anything but straightforward. Her eyes, once bright with maternal warmth, now carry a haunted glaze, reflecting an inner turmoil that refuses to abate. Drew, ever the supportive partner, has tried to create a calming environment, filling the house with soft music and ensuring that reminders of the children are gently tucked away. Yet, even his tender efforts seem to fall short as Willow grapples with delayed processing of her grief. As McMullen poignantly noted, Willow is still losing it a little bit, caught in a cycle of trying to cope while simultaneously unraveling at the seams. Every empty chair at the dining table and every silent corner of the house serves as a cruel reminder of what she's lost, pushing her further into a mental labyrinth from which escape seems impossible. Moreover, Willow's interactions with those around her reveal just how fragile her state remains. During a recent visit from a close friend, she barely spoke, her responses delayed as if her mind was elsewhere, perhaps in a world where the courtroom verdict never happened. Her friend later confided that Willow seemed like a ghost of herself, present in body but absent in spirit. This detachment raises alarming questions about her ability to navigate daily life, let alone fight to regain custody. The storyline promises to explore how this ongoing mental struggle will shape her decisions. With McMullen teasing that the unpredictability of Willow's condition means anything could happen, fans can only brace themselves for the emotional storms ahead as Willow teeters on the brink of further collapse. Dark theories and unsettling possibilities. As Willow's mental health storyline unfolds, whispers of darker possibilities have begun to circulate among fans and spoilers alike. In a chilling interview snippet, McMullen urged viewers to brace for the unexpected, hinting at wild and potentially dangerous actions spurred by Willow's fractured psyche. Could her grief drive her to cross lines she never imagined? Some speculate that Willow might be behind the mysterious nursery incident involving Daisy Gilmore Corinthos, where a baby was briefly placed in the wrong bassinet. Though unconfirmed, the idea that Willow, in a dissociative state, could have been responsible adds a layer of eerie intrigue to her arc. Imagine her, lost in a haze, wandering into the hospital nursery at night, her maternal instincts misfiring as she seeks solace in any child's presence, even if it's not her own. Further fueling speculation, recent episodes have shown shadowy figures lurking around the Quartermain mansion, peering through windows at Michael, Sasha, Wiley, Amelia, and Daisy. On June 18th, a mysterious onlooker was spotted, and many believe it could have been Willow, defying Drew's advice to rest and instead driven by an obsessive need to see her children, even from afar. The following day's episode upped the tension with someone hovering over Daisy's crib, a moment ripe with suspense. If Willow is indeed behind these acts, perhaps in a blacked-out state, it paints a tragic picture of a mother whose love has twisted into something desperate and dangerous. These theories suggest that her break from reality could lead to catastrophic consequences, not just for herself but for those around her, setting the stage for a storyline drenched in suspense and heartbreak. The future of Willow's heartbreaking journey. Looking ahead, the path for Willow Tate seems paved with more challenges and unexpected turns. Caitlin McMullen's cryptic hints about her character's mental health curveballs keep fans guessing about just how chaotic things might become. Will Willow find a way to claw her way back to stability, or will her grief consume her entirely, leading to actions that could alter her life and those of her loved one forever? The actress's final words in the interview, encouraging viewers to prepare for the unforeseen, suggest that the writers have no intention of letting up on the emotional intensity of this plotline. Perhaps Willow will seek therapy, uncovering buried traumas that compound her current pain, or maybe she'll embark on a risky mission to prove her worth as a mother. Consequences be damned. Adding to the intrigue, we can imagine new characters entering the fray to either aid or complicate Willow's journey. Picture a compassionate counselor at General Hospital who takes a special interest in Willow's case, offering unconventional methods to help her reconnect with reality. Or a shadowy figure from Michael's past who sees Willow's vulnerability as an opportunity to manipulate the custody situation for their own gain. These invented elements could deepen the narrative, exploring themes of resilience, betrayal, and the lengths to which a mother will go to protect her bond with her children. As spoilers from ABC General Hospital indicate, Willow's disconnection from reality might culminate in disaster, leaving us to wonder if she'll ever reclaim the life she once knew or if she's destined for a tragic downfall. Next, we will uncover the chilling mystery surrounding baby Daisy and the unsettling events that have left Sasha Corbin and Michael Corinthos reeling in Port Charles. A baby mix-up at the hospital seemed like a minor blip at first, but as whispers of intentional foul play surface, the stakes have never been higher. Adding fuel to the fire, Willow Tate's devastating custody loss to Michael, paired with shadowy figures lurking near the Quartermain mansion, paints a picture of intrigue and betrayal. Join us as we delve into this tangled web of hospital mishaps, personal vendettas, and the fragile emotions of new parents, with fresh details, inventive twists, and a deep dive into the chaos threatening to upend lives. Let's unpack the drama and explore what might be brewing behind the scenes in this captivating General Hospital storyline. A terrifying mix-up rocks Sasha's world. In a moment that turned a joyful milestone into a heart-pounding scare, Sasha Corbin faced every mother's nightmare when her newborn, baby Daisy, was briefly swapped in the hospital nursery. The incident unfolded with a gut-wrenching twist. Lucas Spencer, tasked with bringing Daisy to her doting mother, returned with a different infant cradled in his arms. The room filled with murmurs of confusion from onlookers like Carly Spencer and Felicia Scorpio, their gasps echoing Sasha's dawning horror. As a mother's instinct kicked in, Sasha immediately knew the child wasn't hers. Daisy's familiar scent and tiny features were absent in the stranger she held. Her hands trembled as she handed the baby back, her voice breaking with a mix of relief and terror when Lucas swiftly located Daisy safe in another bassinet. Though resolved quickly, the incident left an indelible mark, a stark reminder of how fragile happiness can be in Port Charles. Sasha, a woman who has weathered unimaginable storms losing her son Liam and her husband Brando Corbin, deserves a life of peace more than most. Yet, this mix-up, initially dismissed as a harmless error, stirred a quiet unease in her heart. She confided in a close friend later that night, admitting she couldn't shake the image of holding the wrong baby, her mind replaying the moment she feared Daisy was gone forever. Despite her outward composure, brushing off the hospital's mistake with a forced smile, the weight of past traumas seemed to resurface in her eyes. This minor hiccup, against the backdrop of Port Charles's usual chaos, might seem trivial, but for Sasha, it was a crack in the fairy tale she's been desperately trying to build with her new daughter. A deeper conspiracy emerges. As days passed, what seemed like a random hospital blunder took on a more sinister tone, with whispers suggesting that Daisy's mix-up was no accident. According to the latest ABC General Hospital spoilers, the incident might have been orchestrated, a deliberate act meant to unsettle Sasha and Michael Corinthos. The ease with which Sasha forgave the supposed mistake speaks to her generous spirit. She opted not to pursue legal action, focusing instead on the relief of having Daisy back in her arms. But not everyone shares her willingness to let it go. Rumors swirl that someone with a grudge could be pulling strings behind the scenes, using the hospital as a stage for their vendetta. Was this a calculated move to expose vulnerabilities in Sasha and Michael's new family, or a warning shot in a larger battle yet to unfold? Adding a layer of intrigue, hospital staff have privately expressed confusion over how such a mix-up could occur under strict nursery protocols. An anonymous nurse revealed that security footage from that day showed an unfamiliar figure lingering near the nursery shortly before Lucas retrieved the wrong baby. This shadowy presence raises chilling questions. Was this person an unwitting pawn, or are they part of a meticulously planned scheme? For Sasha, who has fought so hard for stability, the idea that someone might target her newborn feels like a cruel twist of fate. As she cradles Daisy each night, humming lullabies to drown out her fears, the possibility of intentional harm gnaws at her, even as she tries to focus on the present joy of motherhood. Michael and Sasha's fragile joy amidst loss. While Sasha grapples with lingering doubts about the hospital incident, she and Michael revel in the precious moments with their baby girl, cherishing every coo and tiny grasp of Daisy's fingers. Their home is filled with pastel blankets and the soft glow of a nursery nightlight, a sanctuary built on love after so much pain. Yet, their happiness stands in stark contrast to the heartbreak of Michael's ex-wife, Willow Tate, who recently lost custody of her children, Wiley and Amelia, to Michael in a brutal courtroom defeat. Returning to an eerily silent house, devoid of childish laughter and the mess of toys, Willow's emptiness serves as a haunting foil to the warmth of Michael and Sasha's new family. The weight of this loss hangs heavy, a silent undercurrent to the couple's joy as they navigate parenthood under the shadow of others' grief. Michael, ever protective, has doubled down on ensuring Daisy's safety, installing extra locks, and even considering hiring private security after the nursery scare. Sasha, meanwhile, wrestles with her own complex emotions, gratitude for her daughter's safety mixed with a lingering sadness for Willow, whose pain she can't help but empathize with as a mother. During a quiet evening, as Michael rocked Daisy to sleep, Sasha stared out the window, her thoughts drifting to the idea of fatherhood itself. In a surprising twist, she's begun questioning whether Daisy might be better off without a constant father figure, a belief she's subtly instilled in Michael, convincing him that their unconventional setup might be best. This internal conflict adds depth to their relationship, as they balance personal doubts with the external threats looming over their fragile bliss. A shadowy threat at the Quartermain mansion. The drama escalates with an unsettling development in recent episodes, as an unknown figure was spotted peering through the windows of the Quartermain mansion, their gaze fixated on baby Daisy. This eerie intrusion, captured under the cloak of night, sent chills down the spine of anyone watching, hinting at a danger far more personal than a hospital mix-up. Was this mysterious observer merely curious, or do they harbor intentions that could shatter the family's newfound peace? The image of someone lurking just beyond the glass, hidden in the darkness, evokes a primal fear in Michael and Sasha, even if they remain unaware of the specific incident. Spoilers suggest this voyeuristic act is tied to the earlier nursery mishap, weaving a thread of menace through the storyline. Speculation among fans points to a shocking suspect, Drew, Michael's uncle, who might be orchestrating chaos as a form of retribution. Could Drew, entangled in his own web of secrets and resentments, be targeting Michael and Sasha to prove a point about Michael's dangerous past in the mob world? Some believe Drew sees Michael as unfit to raise children, using Daisy as a pawn to expose perceived weaknesses. Imagine Drew, fueled by a mix of jealousy over Michael's new life and unresolved family tensions, slipping into the shadows himself to unsettle the couple. Perhaps he's left cryptic notes or tampered with security systems at the mansion, each act a step in a larger plan to destabilize Michael's world. This invented twist adds a personal sting to the threat, transforming a random act into a deeply familial betrayal. Drew's warning and hidden motives. Further fueling the fire, rumors abound that Drew recently sent Michael a cryptic warning, a subtle jab hinting at his disapproval of Michael's ability to protect his family. According to insider gossip, this veiled threat came in the form of a late-night phone call, where Drew's tone was icy as he questioned whether Michael's history with organized crime made him a liability to Daisy's safety. This confrontation, if true, suggests Drew might be behind the unsettling events, using psychological warfare to undermine Michael's confidence as a father. The idea of Drew wreaking havoc as payback for past slights, perhaps tied to business deals gone sour or lingering resentment over Willow's tumultuous relationships, paints him as a potential villain in this unfolding drama, his actions driven by a desire to control or destroy. To expand on this theory, envision Drew enlisting an old associate from his military days, someone with a knack for covert operations, to assist in these shadowy maneuvers. This accomplice could be the figure seen at the mansion, tasked with gathering intel or planting seeds of fear while Drew maintains plausible deniability. Such a partnership would add a layer of sophistication to the plot, turning Drew's vendetta into a calculated campaign rather than a series of impulsive acts. For Sasha, who trusts her instincts over others' judgments, dismissing Willow's past choices and partners as mere missteps, the notion of Drew as a threat might seem far-fetched. Yet, as tension builds, even her forgiving nature might be tested when the safety of her daughter hangs in the balance. What lies ahead for Sasha, Michael, and Daisy? As the storyline progresses, the mystery surrounding baby Daisy promises to unravel with more shocking revelations and emotional fallout. Will Sasha's willingness to forgive the hospital's error blind her to a greater danger, or will her maternal instincts lead her to uncover the truth behind the mix-up? Michael, torn between his protective urges and Sasha's unconventional views on fatherhood, faces a battle to secure his family's future while grappling with enemies known and unknown circling closer. Spoilers hint that the identity of the mansion lurker will soon come to light, potentially confirming Drew's involvement or introducing an entirely new player with motives yet to be revealed. The stakes couldn't be higher as this once minor hiccup transforms into a full-blown crisis. Adding an imaginative twist, picture a hidden journal found in the Quartermain attic by Sasha, penned by a long-forgotten relative, detailing a past baby-swapping scandal that mirrors Daisy's incident. This discovery could spur Sasha to dig deeper, uncovering ties between that historical event and current machinations, perhaps revealing Drew's actions as part of a generational grudge. Such a narrative thread would enrich the plot, linking past sins to present dangers and giving Sasha a personal mission to protect her child from history's repetition. As ABC General Hospital continues to weave this tale of suspense and heartbreak, fans are left on tenterhooks, eager to see if love and trust can triumph over deception and fear in Port Charles. Stay tuned for more updates on this gripping saga, and share your theories about Drew's role or any other suspects in the comments below.